If you're a man, you need to be the one driving, bro. These guys out here whose girls are driving them around. Is that you? Is that you?
Sometimes.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What up, guys? Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. Giulio Gallerati here, joined by Ryan, the Big Daddy Lynch.
Thank you.
Or Lynch, as my Big Daddy would call him.
Big Daddy.
We're here. We're doing it.
Howdy.
I hope you guys enjoyed all of the engagement stuff. It's been really fun and exciting for me. I guess I got some new tour dates coming up, which hopefully you guys have seen by now. We're going to be in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I believe that's the 25th and 26th of October. But it's all on notjulio.com, all of these in case I fuck some of these dates up. Then November 1st, Liberty Township, Ohio. November 2nd, Louisville, Kentucky. And all of the other dates, business as usual. Check me out in Detroit this weekend if there's still tickets. House of Comedy. Look forward to seeing all of you guys there. And here we are.
Here we are.
So Ryan, before we sort of progress onto other orders of business, of which there are many, we want to get some updates from you. We know you have some big stuff going on. I have a bunch to share, but let's kind of put the engagement stuff to rest for now. If anybody else has a crazy engagement story, definitely open to hearing it. But we got a couple good ones from you guys that we want to share.
Yeah, send us emails at oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. Sometimes you send us some amazing stuff in the DMs. It is a little hard to sort through them and come back to them when we want to talk about it on the pod. So email is best. I think that there's a button on our Instagram page anyway. So if you're planning on sending a DM, just click that, and that would make it easier for us to see.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Good housekeeping there.
Yeah.
So we got two here. You guys, you sent a bunch. They were all amazing. These were the two that sort of felt share worthy for whatever reason. All right. Hey guys, huge congrats to Giulio. Thank you. It's been fun to hear your whole story play through with Hillary. Also super fun to hear Ryan more and more on the pod. Shout out to Ryan.
Thank you.
Here's my proposal story. So my boyfriend bought a ring and was planning to propose to me. When the ring arrived, by the way, pause. By the way, there are so many crazy things that happen in this one story that I'm just kind of like, damn, dude, that is really unfortunate. So here, check it out. So my boyfriend bought a ring and was planning to propose to me. When the ring arrived, I almost immediately found his hiding place for it. Knew it was a ring, but didn't open the box to look at it so that I could still be surprised. I then spilled the beans to him that I had found the ring, but told him that I wouldn't bring it up again and he could take his time with the proposal. About a week later, he texted and asked if I had gone through his bedside drawer. Turns out his neighbor had broken into his apartment and stolen the ring. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Okay. So she knew about the ring. Before we move forward, she knew about the ring.
Okay.
And then he texted her and asked if she took it.
So here are the amount of, so first of all, proposal ruined. She found the ring.
Yeah.
Maybe she saw it coming, but she found it. That immediately is a shitty thing, right? Then this next part, which we will now dive a bit deeper into, he got the cops involved, but nothing ever got resolved. Meanwhile, I'm out at the bars with my friends drinking too much and crying about how I just want to be engaged. Unbeknownst to me, he then had his mom overnight him his grandmother's ring. Another week goes by and we go on a really nice hike. His plan was to propose at the top of the hike, but he started having pain in his balls. Couldn't pee, collapsed in the woods, and I had to take him to the ER with kidney stones. Another week goes by and he ended up proposing to me while we were both lying on the floor in his apartment with the show Psych playing in the background. I think at that point he just wanted to get it over with so nothing else bad would happen. 5 years later, I still have his grandmother's ring and never got to see the one he had picked out for me.
Damn.
Crazy.
That's so upsetting that they weren't able to retrieve the ring.
I know.
That's the biggest takeaway
So,
I have from
yeah,
that.
we need some clarity about that. So you got the police involved. Were they never able to prove it? Did the neighbor just sell the ring and completely get away with it? Like, what kind of world are we living in?
Yeah, if you knew who did it,
yeah,
I don't know why that's not being taken care of.
I know. I wonder at what point, your balls start hurting as you're about to do it. Are you like, is this God telling me that this isn't the right person for me or something?
No. At least they'll have a fun story forever.
Yeah.
So they at least have that. And they've been married for 5 years. So that's good.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. Congratulations. Okay, this is another good one. This is more of like a creative way to propose to somebody. I thought this was really good. Responding to your call for engagement stories, it was not a disaster, but one that I've realized is unusual. My husband never actually proposed. On Christmas Eve, he put the ring on my finger when I was asleep. So I woke up and felt it on my finger. That's pretty cool. You think that's weird?
I don't know. It's a little rapey. Just a little.
Dude,
just a tad.
it's his fucking wife to be.
I know. But she didn't say yes yet, so I don't know. I don't know. I think that's just a little weird. It's cute, but it's a little weird.
Okay. That's Ryan's take. I love it. Always a hot take. I love it, man. Excellent. But I now have a secret I can never reveal. I was awake the whole time he was trying to put it on my finger. To this day, he thinks I was asleep, and I will never tell him. 7 years married, and still secret is kept. And she says, huge congrats on your engagement, etc. Thank you so much. But dude, that is the one problem with that technique is that in what world are you not going to wake up to somebody jamming a fucking ring on your finger? Right?
Well, was it easy to slip the ring onto Hillary?
So the ring was ever slightly too big. So yes, it was easy. But at that point, I don't know. Like, do people sleep with their engagement rings on? You're supposed to take it off, right? I don't really know, dude. Yeah, it was pretty easy. But still, dude, like if I touch Hillary at all, she wakes up. I mean, I guess there are some people who are pretty deep sleepers, but like, I think you just have to get them blasted, dude, so they wouldn't wake up. And that's even more rapey.
Yeah, very. I feel there's a lot of friction and pulling and pushing on that. I don't know how you'd sleep through that.
Agreed.
A lot of jerking.
But still very cute and very clever.
Very cute.
Man, I guess I don't want to talk about engagement for the rest of time. However, if you have any other very creative techniques, I'd certainly be interested to hear it. And that does not include like the Jumbotron or, you know what I mean? Anything. This to me was pretty clever, even though it didn't ultimately work, but it was sweet. That must have been exciting for her. And then she can't even like get up to go to the bathroom to look at it or can't even like in your sleep. She's just like looking at it. Really yeah.
She probably turned around, just was staring at it.
Yeah.
Good for you. That is cute though.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we have a couple things we need to check back in on. A couple weeks ago, Ryan was heading out for the camping trip of a lifetime. I made fun of him for the entire episode about planning to bring a headlamp.
Yes, you did.
It was later confirmed that apparently you need a headlamp when you camp. So I'm willing to accept defeat there. Ryan, well done.
Thank you.
But I would like to hear about how your whole camping weekend went.
Yeah, so the camping went well. We were at a site. I think when I misspoke on the podcast saying that we were just going to go out into the woods, we were at a campsite. So we had our own little spot with a fire pit, and with we actually had access to clean water
nice.
right by our spot. Not every spot had that, but ours did. So people would come to our station and fill up.
So question. So
Yeah.
did you have to reserve that space?
It was reserved.
Okay. And then do you think it was like a premium reservation since you were right next to the water spout? Or
No, that was all by chance.
Okay.
That was all by chance.
And where was this again?
In the Catskills.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was lovely. So we arrived. We got there around 4 p.m. This was like a last minute trip because we were bailing on half of our Labor Day weekend plans.
Wait, what? To do this?
To do this. So we originally were at a beach house in Connecticut, and then
where in Connecticut?
Milford.
Oh, wow.
So it was all right. And there's something from there I want to share, maybe this or maybe next episode. But we show up and we pitch 2 tents. I set up a hammock all by myself.
Wow.
All by myself between 2 trees.
So was it known that you didn't know how to do it, or did you know how to do it, or did you just figure it out?
I just figured it out.
And was he like, hey, Ryan, you put the hammock up? Or were you like, well, I'll put a hammock up?
It was more so, what can I do? I don't want to be a passenger princess.
Totally.
And kind of just sit there and just watch everyone do stuff. I want it to be manly.
You wanted to be hands-on. The tent was a little bit above your pay grade?
I guess so. I just didn't get my hands on the tent. They took care of that very quickly. So as soon as I saw Clint already taking care of the tent stuff, I quickly was like, well, we got to set up the hammock.
We got to set up the hammock.
We need the hammock. And we ended up never sitting in it, but it was set up in case we wanted to.
Good to have it.
And it was beautiful. We took a little walk. We skipped some stones. We got there later in the day. And so we had our firewood that we picked up. And that was going to be our only light source. And I sent a text to the group chat after we recorded. I was like, oh, let me get a headlamp. Like, that'll be fun. And everyone's like, oh, that's silly. But, I guess, yeah, order it. It's $10. Thank God we did.
Wow.
Thank God we did. And thanks to all of you for helping me confirm that was the right move.
Wow.
Because we started cooking steaks and potatoes and vegetables around 7 o'clock, and it got pitch dark real fast. And if we didn't have that light, we would have had nothing. We had the car.
Come on,
that
Clint.
barely did anything.
Step it up, Clint.
Yeah, so it was actually
Nice, dude.
honestly more manly than setting up the tent itself, was providing the light for the group.
Very nice.
So we had a lot of fun there. Not much more to make note on. Sleeping in a tent was fun. It rained a little bit. You just have to deal with it.
Just have to deal with it.
And that was nice. I was nervous that someone was going to kill us pretty much the whole time.
Watched too many
while we
horror
were
movies.
sleeping.
This guy. Two very reasonable things Ryan has been afraid of already in this episode. Yeah. Man who watches too much horror.
Yeah.
So did it get chilly?
No, we packed prepared. I had a long sleeve on and sweatpants and a light blanket. It wasn't bad.
Were you able to sleep in the tent?
I probably got 4 hours of sleep. It probably took me a little over an hour when my head hit the pillow and I tried to sleep. And then I woke up to go to the bathroom. It took me another hour to fall back asleep. I slightly woke up with the rain. So it was fun. I definitely would probably lean towards glamping in the future, where you can rent out those little cabins.
It's tough to sleep in a tent.
Yeah, because just sleeping, I needed more cushion. We brought my duvet.
Oh, nice.
And it was a little too thin, so I donated my half to Victoria and kind of
That's very nice.
Yeah. So and I
You're
kind of
just feeling
laid
a lot
there.
of ground.
Yeah, it was a lot of ground. It was a lot of gravel. And it was interesting because it was just luck of the draw which spot you get. You don't, I mean, I guess you could reserve like one closer to the water if you want, but I wasn't part of that process. Some people had some grassy patched areas, and I do wish that we had that.
You think it was more comfortable?
Yeah, but I did try to pull a prank.
Oh,
Didn't
nice.
go well. It did not go well. I'll start with that. But I bought a whoopee cushion at the gas station. And so it was me, it was Victoria, it was Clint, and it was Victoria's cousin, Raquel. And I wanted to prank Raquel. So Clint, Vic, and I were in on the joke. And, when you think of whoopee cushion, you're like, oh, you put it underneath someone's seat. And, it's a quick laugh, blah, blah, blah. Pretty basic joke. So we decided not to do that. We wanted to do something a little more chaotic. Instead of having Raquel sit on the whoopee cushion, the plan was for
Wait, when you say we, who else was in on this?
me, the other three that I was
Everyone
with.
was in on it.
Yeah, the
Okay,
three of
okay,
us.
okay.
So the plan was for me to sit on the whoopee cushion. We had it planted around the fireplace, and I sit on the whoopee cushion. And we don't fill it up all the way, so it makes a little bit of a noise. Not where it's like not like a silly, yeah, but it would sound more realistic. And so the plan was for me to sit on the whoopee cushion and be like, oh my God, Victoria, I'll be right back, and pretend that I shat myself. And then I was going to run down to the bathroom cabin, and I was going to let her soak in that reality for 7 minutes and then come back and just be like, no, I didn't actually. It was a whoopee cushion. But she found it in the grocery bag. So we had that all planned out like a couple days before. So
All right, here's my question, Ryan.
yeah, shoot.
Would she have cared? Like, if someone else shit their pants on when we were camping, I think that I would just think it was funny, and then that I wouldn't even think about it anymore.
Well, my plan was to act very self-conscious and embarrassed to the point where it ruined the vibe and potentially the entire evening.
Got it.
So that was the plan. We didn't get to see it through.
Nice, dude.
But no, I wanted her, and then the cousin dynamic, Victoria, they're cousins, and Victoria was planning on playing up oh, Raquel, this is oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed too.
Yeah.
And I wanted that extra layer of secondhand embarrassment from Victoria. So it didn't happen, but it would have been great if it did.
Hey, get them next time,
Yeah. So it was fun.
Also, at least you were camping with your girlfriend and not with just a dude.
Mm-hmm.
When you're sleeping with another man who you're not being romantic with, and you're grazing another man, it makes it very difficult to sleep.
Didn't you camp a couple times with a buddy and his
I camped
dad
with Zach Ray. and we were just touching each other. And
Yeah.
I don't think either of us really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then with my friend and his dad and shit, and his dad was just sleeping outside on like a log. Like it was like some serious Craig guy. The guy's a legend.
Damn.
And he was snoring like a dog, dude. So like both times sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I just I don't like how the temperature can really change drastically too, which is sort of like weird. I'm not that durable when it comes to that. I need to work on that.
Yeah. One night was good. So it was a fun experience. Got to do it glamp
First
style
time,
next
right?
Yeah, first time.
Very cool, Ryan.
So.
Good for you. We're all about Ryan experiencing new things since all he cares about is Atlantis.
Cheesecake
Paradise Island.
Factory, Disney member,
Cheesecake Factory, Atlantis. What else?
Chipotle.
Dude, I don't know about you, but some mornings I am just so tired and I really need my cup of coffee. I've been bouncing all around and it's been great and I'm happy that I'm busy, but sometimes I wake up and I'm like, fuck, dude. And this morning in particular, I had a meeting with somebody and I completely forgot about it. I was like, how am I ever going to make it to this meeting? Got in the kitchen, groggy-eyed. I ripped up some delicious Fuel Coffee Patriots Blend dark roast, and I poured that cup of coffee, and I was immediately wide awake and alert and able to go on throughout the day. And
That's
some
my
days,
favorite blend.
I just don't know how people do it without the coffee. That's your favorite blend?
That's my favorite blend. I have it in a bag by my desk, and Victoria's caught me sniffing it a few times. I know I shouldn't be. I should just be waiting till the morning, but at night I like to just smell it because it's so fresh. It's delicious. I love the Patriot Blend.
Dude, it's amazing. And if you guys aren't grinding your own coffee, you're really missing out. Apparently it makes it all the more potent, all the more better as far as the health benefits are concerned. It's just like some manly stuff.
It's pretty
like I was
cool.
saying.
It's pretty cool to grind your beans.
But guys, for all your coffee needs, Fuel has you covered. They have espresso, they have decaf, they even have some like Guatemala roasts. They have kind of pre-canned iced coffees. They have all the stuff that you could ever need, and it's absolutely delicious, affordable, and $5 flat shipping, which to me is always like such a caveat when a place charges an absurd amount for shipping. And it's like, oh, this makes no sense. That is not the case with Fuel. They're delicious. If you live in the New England area, you might recognize some of the brick and mortar locations, including right next to T. Anthony's on Com Ave near Boston University. Fuel America is sweeping across the country in stores near you, but make sure to buy it online. And you can use our promo code OOPSBEANS to get 20% off of your order.
That's a big discount.
That is a big discount. I remember in the past with some of our coffee partners, I think it was more of like a 5% discount. This is a 20% discount and $5 flat free shipping anywhere in the lower 48.
And it's coffee. Like you're going to drink it. Like it's
exactly.
a great deal.
It's coffee.
It's a
You're
really
going to
good
drink
deal.
it. It's Fuel. It's delicious. And it should be in your kitchen. So go to shop.fuelamericacoffee.com. Use promo code OOPSBEANS for 20% off of your order. That's shop.fuelamericacoffee.com. Promo code OOPSBEANS, 20% off. Dude, I had a really good micro prank on Hill Dog.
What'd you do?
I'm trying to find the specific thing that I did. So basically what I did, I was at the US Open, and if you have an American Express, they give you a little like earpiece where you can listen along to the broadcast. And the broadcast is the same broadcast that's on ESPN. But because it's radio or whatever, and you're literally there watching the match. They've figured out a way where it's completely in real time. Whereas somebody who's watching it on TV, there's a slight delay. And if you're watching it on streaming, chances are there's even more of a delay. So there's a little bit of a delay. So what I started doing is Hillary and I are texting about the match. I started saying the exact things that the commentators would say.
Oh, really?
So yeah. And then she later would hear that I was doing it. And how could I possibly, like, she didn't put the delay thing into her mind. And so I made sure to make it stuff that like was ambiguous enough that she wouldn't be able to tell, like that I theoretically could have done it. So I'd be like, man, Zverev moves really well for a guy his height, but he's not lightning fast. And then I reply to something else. She says, I'm like, yeah, it's so human. She goes, honey, Gilbert just said that after you texted that.
First try?
Yeah. I go, ha, no way. She goes, Zverev moves well for a guy of his size, but isn't lightning fast. Dead ass.
Dead ass.
Hillary with the dead ass. That's probably the best one. Anyway, it took 2 or 3, and then eventually she figured out that I must how be tapped into. But I was doing it so well that there were moments where she didn't even catch it. That's how generic of a comment it was. Or like she must have looked at her phone for a second or whatever. But I don't know. So anyway, guys, a little update here. I don't know if you guys remember this. I shot a thing in Nicaragua. Shout out to Blake, who hosted me. And it was sort of in the aftermath of me being like, invite me somewhere and I will come. This guy's like, you want to come to Nicaragua? I was like, sure. And we filmed a little thing there, but I just haven't really gotten around to editing it. But my good buddy, Josh Depew, has stepped up and been like, dude, I'll just edit it for you if you want.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, you are a fucking legend. Him and his fiance, Janet, have actually been very helpful to me lately. So I appreciate both of them. Janet was helping me with some ring searching, and just like she knows a lot about rings, she was kind of like confirming or denying things. So they've been a very helpful couple to the Gallerati household lately. So look forward to that Nicaragua stuff being done. It's gonna be pretty sweet. Okay, so dude, I went to like my final wedding of the year. I was supposed to have another one this next weekend, but I ended up having work stuff come up. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make it, which I'm bummed out about. But went to final wedding of the year, it looks like, in Wyoming. And it was so fucking sick, dude.
It looked super bougie.
Whoa. Wow. How sick was it? Unbelievably sick. Have you ever been to Wyoming?
No.
Dude, Wyoming rules. If any of you guys have never been to Wyoming, you just really got to go there. I know that like, Colorado, a lot of people have been there. There's something about Wyoming. There's just nobody there. There's no one there. I'm pretty sure it's the least populated state. We've done this before on the pod. 500,000 people in the whole state or something like that.
That sounds right.
There's just no one there. There's no one there. So the second you cross that border, it just immediately reflects that. And it is just wilderness. And you look around and you're like, I could fully see dinosaurs just fucking roaming here. And I'm pretty sure they did. And it's like one of the richest places to hunt for dinosaur fossils, according to my brother. So whatever. So really sick. We flew into Denver and we then had to drive to the wedding in Wyoming, which was like 3.5 hours. And it was actually a part of Wyoming that I've never really been to. The Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, all that stuff like in Western Wyoming is obvious, but I've never been to this like the southeast corner of Wyoming. And it was actually really beautiful in its own right. I know a lot of like Eastern Wyoming can be like a little flat, but this was a nice little mountain pocket. The state's so big too, dude, that like, it's amazing when you look at the map. This is why I always fuck myself on road trips, because I look at the map and I'm like, oh, that's right there. But it's really very fucking far. You know what I mean? Because like the states are so big, you start fooling yourself into thinking that like 500 miles isn't far, which I will tell you this, it is. Don't just casually add 500 miles to a day's drive when you've been driving for a week. It's a terrible move. So anyway, really pretty drive, really sick. When we were driving, there's this like national forest right before you arrive at this place called the Brush Creek Ranch, Medicine Bow National Forest. It's the beginning of September, dude. It is dumping snow.
Really?
On the drive. You just drop your AirPods. I don't want you to lose those permanently. That's a tough one. Dumping snow, bro.
Wow.
And it was funny. Hillary was fast asleep, and my buddy Ted Jones was with me in the car, who's also a comedian, old friend. Love him. And we were like, dude, it would be really fun. Like Hillary completely slept through the entire snow. Then we're back at a normal altitude and we're like, it was snowing. She's like, are you serious? I was like, dude, it would be funny if we just left the car on the side of the road and like ran and hid behind a tree and just waited for Hillary to wake up. And she'd be like, where the fuck am I? What is happening? It's snowing? Oh my God. That would be too cruel.
That's too cruel.
We did not.
Oh, I'd love to see that though.
I know. Dude, right? Hilarious. We eventually arrived, obviously soon after, and it was pretty fucking chill. But before I get to that, dude, on the flight, we were sitting in 10D through F, next to each other. So Hillary's 10E, I'm 10D, I'm in the aisle, something like that. I forget exactly. Maybe Hillary was across the aisle. Anyway, so there was this guy sitting next to his wife, and somebody apparently, there was an open seat in first class, and they came up to him and they're like, hey, congratulations, you've been upgraded. And he looks at his wife and he goes, I'd rather stay with my wife. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then they go to me. They're like, do you want the upgrade? And I'm like, fuck. Fuck. I'm like, I'm gonna stay with my girl too. And it was a pretty good seat. It's the one directly behind first class. You have a lot of leg room, But, I'm not just going to leave her in that situation. It's too savage. Sometimes we get seated apart from each other. That's different. But if you're already seated together, bro, and then they end up sending some other guy. And there was also a bunch of people that we knew on the flight. It would have been an extra bad look. And I look over and I'm like, you're lucky we know a bunch of people on this flight, or I would have left your ass in the dust, pal.
That's nice.
Pretty sweet. But dude, yeah, this wedding was 3 nights, and each night was like its own wedding. It was great. It was my friend Natalie and Ben got married, and each night was like its own wedding, dude. I'm not kidding. This is probably the fanciest wedding I've ever been to. It was so sick. There's a bunch of like fancy ranch style accommodations in Wyoming, I've learned. Amangani being one of them, which is like sister hotel of Amangiri, like the Aman resort chain. Roan was on here talking about that a few months ago.
Tell us everything.
Yeah, dude, it was sick. So like, first of all, even down to like the little gifts basket things, like there's a duffel bag with just like all sorts of shit in it, like merch, hats. I'm wearing one of the hats right now, sweatshirts. Every day you got back from doing all the shit, and there was another thing waiting for you. La Durée macaroons, fucking, dude, it was like crazy. And all the activities on the ranch were included. So like, we paid some very nominal amount, and like the rest was just like heavily subsidized, obviously. And everybody on the ranch was just people in the wedding. So it was like a full buyout. So we had a house with like 3 of our best friends, Ted Jones, and then my boy Philip and his girlfriend Nora, and then us. And, we all had our own rooms, whatever. And then there were all these sick activities. So like you could play paintball, you could fucking drive ATVs, you could there's yoga, there's hiking, there's all this stuff. And like, you could sign up for the group one, or you could just arrange your own private one. You show up to the activities thing, they take you out on do whatever you want. Arrange your tour where they show you all the spots on the ranch, like super sick. Then, dude, this was so nice. On Thursday night, so I guess the welcome dinner, whatever you want to call it, they had cakes for all of their friends' special events at their wedding weekend. There was 2 of our friends, it was their birthdays. They had individual cakes for them, and then they had an individual cake for us for our engagement, dude.
Wow.
Right? It's like she literally thought of everything. And dude, I've been to some sick weddings this year, but this one was really nuts. Then the actual wedding ceremony, she rode in on a horse to the altar, which was crazy.
How far away did she ride in? Like, when did you see her?
So I was wondering that. I was wondering if she was going to ride in from like 1,000 yards away. And we'll just have to watch. No, she came around the building, and it was perfect. Like perfect. And it really worked. It wasn't a thing where anybody was like, oh, this is extra. Like, she used to ride horses. It like somehow was perfect, So she came in, did the whole thing. They gave very nice vows. And then like, as they were pronounced husband and wife, a fucking gospel choir came out and started singing. And then like the Wranglers just released 1,000 horses, dude. 1,000 horses rode by in the background.
1,000?
I'm not even kidding. I think 1,000 horses. It was like breathtaking. People were like crying. It was so beautiful.
When did they release it?
Like the band came out, or not the band, the choir came out and started singing flanked on both sides, 3 on the side, 3 on the side. And we're like, well, like whatever, this is really cool. And then like probably midway into their first song, the horses were released.
Wow.
And ran across the field.
How far away were the horses?
Like, okay, so first of all, bro, here's the bride on her horse riding by. You see that?
Uh-huh.
And then here, okay, so here's the choir singing. Can you see that?
Oh my, that's for this.
Yes, dude. Bro, and they kept coming. Yeah. We'll take a look. Dude, it was absolutely fucking bonkers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like really crazy.
That's a lot of
How
horses.
crazy is that, dude? Is that not fucking nuts?
That's sick.
Dude, I'm probably leaving out details too, but anyway, it was just like really sick. Oh yeah, there was like a custom cowboy hat station. And I was kind of like, what? I was talking to my dad. I'm like, I can't really use this. He's like, are you serious? He's like, no, bring it back for me. Bring it back for me. He's like, I love free stuff, man. I love free
Your dad
stuff.
likes hats.
What?
Your dad likes
he
hats.
likes
He
all
props.
sorts of shit, dude. I have a big pile. I'm seeing him today. There's a big pile of shit for him over there.
Oh, nice. You did it. There was a light show too, right? With drones?
It was a drone show.
That looks sick.
Have you seen that before?
I've never seen one, but I know that they are a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. They had one of the things was their dog.
Jesus. It sounds like you were living in sandbox mode for the whole weekend.
Yeah,
Just pick your own adventure.
Yeah, it was funny, man. It was really difficult to do all the things that I'm used to doing. I mean, I haven't had a like put the phone down moment in a really long time, since at least the beginning of the summer. And I found it really hard to balance. I felt like overwhelmed. Like the second it was like Friday, 6 p.m., I felt really relieved. I was like, okay, I'm not missing any emails. There's nothing important coming in that I need to deal with. But it was really wild. And dude, this one dude did something really fucking funny. I forget I can't fully remember. It was late at night, but he like stuck his hand out and I went to give him like a traditional high five and he like turned me down and he was like, no, and kept his hand down, motioning that we should hold hands. And then we held hands and he said something like, it hits different or something. I was like, dude, this is awesome. I was like, this rules, dude.
It's a lot of testosterone.
Shout out to Rory, fucking legend, dude,
Rory.
for pulling the fucking low handshake.
What was your favorite activity?
I really liked hiking, dude. So we had this, Teddy made this video that is really fucking stupid that like pretty much no one on earth would understand or think is funny. Like true good friends inside joke. And Philip was the one friend who he thought would get it. So we were waiting for the perfect time to show him this video. And when we finally showed him, it like did not disappoint. We all laughed so hard and it was like the greatest thing of all time.
Did Hillary post a video of you guys all laughing? Was that it? Your reactions to him seeing it?
No, I don't even think that was it. That was just we may have been like, we were laughing like 10 times harder than the video that she posted. The video she posted, I believe we were referring to the time we laughed hard.
That was a joyful
video. Dude, yeah, it was
You
joyful.
were crying.
I was really laughing hard. A lot of fun.
Nice.
It's always fun going to a wedding where you're with a bunch of friends. And it's funny, as we have sort of begun quasi wedding planning and trying to figure it all out, it becomes, that to me is such a desirable outcome. Having all these friends in the same place and sort of like everyone finding their own little pocket, and the amount of like things that happen is just so crazy. You know what I mean? Like all these different plots, stories, groups of people hanging out, people making new friends, people become friends at other people's weddings. And even if like they never end up hanging out because like the lives don't intersect, it is still, it's a great thing, So we're kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. There was no break, but which is fine. I completely understand. Like I know, the places where we would want to maybe have a wedding, if we want to do it next year, like we have to start now going hard. I think if anything, I maybe regret not doing it earlier in the summer so that she would have had more time to like figure out when and how we're going to do it. I don't think she wants to have a long engagement. So, here we are. Figuring it out. So I don't know, man. But anyway, really dope wedding. I was really tired when I came back and I have all sorts of like crazy travel coming up, which is great. I love living that life, racking up the flights. I was pretty sure like I wouldn't get anywhere near last year's flight total, but I'm actually starting to get to a place where I might have some serious fourth quarter numbers, dude. So you love to see that. Oh, so dude, one more thing about the wedding.
Yeah.
So do you know how to tie a bow tie?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have.
It is a good skill.
And there is the final step of it when you pull it through takes a little bit of finesse. Like it takes a little bit of muscle memory, in my opinion. So I didn't know how to tie a bow tie, and I got back from a night. I was hanging out with Pete the night before I had to go fly out for the wedding, and we were out kind of late. I had been doing a bunch of shit. So I got home late and I packed like crazy last minute. So I overpacked, but I also forgot a couple things. That's all. If you don't pack slightly in advance, like if you're packing before you leave for the airport, you're going to forget stuff, period. You know what I mean? At least got to do it the night before. Now, as my dad says, like the old Italians, you start packing a month before the trip. I don't do that, obviously. But so within reason. So I forgot a bow tie. So I get there and Hillary's like, you're fucked. Like you're going to have to you're going to have to order it on Amazon and get a bow tie sent to the ranch or whatever. And I was like, well, the Amazon doesn't mail there. So hopefully someone there will just have a bow tie, right?
Did you check to see if Amazon mailed there?
Yes.
What does that look like on the internet? Like it just says no?
No, like when you look up the address, like it just doesn't pop up.
Gotcha.
In the Amazon suggested addresses or whatever.
Interesting.
Which makes sense. It's pretty far. It's pretty remote. So I'm like, someone will have a bow tie. Hillary was convinced they wouldn't. First person asks Philip, he goes, I have a bow tie. He goes, it's also an Hermes bow tie. I was like, I was sick. Okay, fire. He's like, but you have to like tie it. It's like a proper bow tie. So I'm like, okay. So this is Thursday. I don't really think about it. And then suddenly I get a lot of black tie anxiety. Like tuxedos are just like not that flexible of an item. You don't wear them that often. And there's just this chance that it's going to be too tight and it won't fit you. Like, are you trying on your dry clean tuxedo before? No, of course not. I'm sort of a weight fluctuator. So in the back of my mind, I'm always a little scared that my tuxedo isn't going to fit me, and it gives me anxiety the whole weekend. And there have been times where I put it on and it's so tight that I'm afraid to sit down because I'm going to like rip the pants or something. You know what I mean? And so like I'm sitting there worried about that. But then also I have to learn how to tie a bow tie, dude. I'm like, fuck. Nobody knows how to do it in the cabin I'm in, and I don't want to outsource too hard. So I'm like, I'm just going to try to learn. Mm-hmm. So I pull up a YouTube tutorial and I figure it out. I don't think I did it perfectly, but it was pretty good. And that's the beauty of tying a bow tie, is it's never going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And as the guy and I'll tell you what, dude, from now on, I'm tying my bow ties because of what the guy in the tutorial said. He goes, it's not going to be perfect, but don't worry, because if it is perfect, it means that it's a clip-on. And at that point, you might as well throw on a blue vest and go to the prom. I was like, oh my God.
Baller.
That is savage. So I think I'm tying my bow ties from here on out, man. Like
nice,
a fucking
dude.
Man.
Yeah, it's a great skill for just that.
My man skill.
Nothing else, but it's great for that.
My man skills are really improving. Aside from the one thing that I'm really generally lacking in is just the ability to construct, to build shit. Build a house. Not that I should be able to build a house, but I'm not going to, even painting the house, painting the inside of the house, I can't do that. I can't put in floors. I'm not going to, I can't renovate things on my own. You know what I mean? That's a good man skill to have. But like, it's also, you can be a real man and not be able to do that. Mm-hmm. There are certain things though, where if you don't know how to do it, you may be lacking in whether or not you're a real man. And here are some of those things. Drive and stick.
You love that one.
I love that.
First on your list every time. You like to share that.
One of the few ones I got. So that's a big one. Another one that I can't do, rolling a joint. That's a very man thing to be able to do. The girls at the party want to smoke. You pull up and you twist up a perfect joint. Now, granted, now there are cones, so like you can get a joint done. But being able to roll one yourself is pretty sick, and especially if it's a good one. Mm-hmm. Tying a tie, period. If you can't tie a tie, bro, come on. Like I know guys who can't tie a tie.
That's sad.
You need to know how to tie a regular tie. I would put tying a bow tie in there too. That's manly as fuck. Mm-hmm. And then also just like, you like that?
No, I don't think tying a bow tie is that manly, but it's a good skill.
It is, dude. It's very GQ. It's very gentlemanly. Mm-hmm. You are an elite. If you're an elite man and you can't tie a bow tie, are you that elite? I don't know. And I'd like to put myself in that category now since I know how to do it.
Okay.
So you can all fuck off. The other thing, bro, is if you're a man, you need to be the one driving, bro. These guys out here whose girls are driving them around. Is that you? Is that you?
It sometimes.
I mean, bro, whatever. You know, I'm not sitting here trying to insult you, Ryan. But listen.
No, keep going.
You better start driving, pal. There's something nice about, you're going on a trip, whatever, and the girls are stressed about traveling and they carried all their bullshit, and you're like, get in the car, don't worry, I'm going to deliver you safely. That's manly as fuck, dude.
That is manly when you say
get out there and deliver your woman. Deliver her. Here she is.
Fragile.
There she is. Delivered. But dude, like there are certain things where men, like, I don't even need to say that. It's so stupid. Men are better than women. But like, I sometimes think that women are born with certain knowledge. Like sometimes Hillary will just know something and I'm like, how did you learn that? Who told you that? Did you read it? Like, at what point did that come into your sphere? Tell me, here's one, and tell me if you agree with this.
Sure.
General wedding knowledge, to begin with, is one of them. But more specifically, women's knowledge of flowers blows my fucking mind. They know, oh, that's a whatever, that's a this, that's a that. How did they learn that? Where do you learn that? I don't know what any flower is except for hydrangea because it's Hillary's favorite one. And even then I can fuck that up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about flowers?
No, just what Victoria's favorite flower is.
And she knows about all of them, right?
Yeah.
Where did you guys take flower class? Like, at what point did you women learn about flowers like this? I don't know.
I don't know. They're hanging out in the garden while their parent is setting that up.
I guess, but like,
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a girl.
No, I know. Yeah, I don't know. I know absolutely nothing about flowers. That's always blowing my mind. Then there would be like general wedding stuff where Hillary's like, I was like, oh, does so-and-so get a +1? And she's like, they're married. Yes. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, if someone's married, you can't invite somebody and not invite their husband or wife. Everybody knows that. I'm like, no, they don't. I was like, not only do I not know that, I've never thought about it. Now, does it make sense? Sure. But at what point did she learn that? And my honest question is, was she born knowing that?
Yeah, because she wasn't married. So like, I don't know how she has that firsthand knowledge.
How would she know?
Here's one. People that you need to include in your bachelor party or
girls
or
are
your
that.
bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm.
There's some technicality where there's a scenario where, and I love Victoria's brother, but like, he doesn't need to ask me to be in his, but I need to ask him to be in mine. And so I was questioning her on that, and she was just like, no, that's how it is.
Oh, wow.
Like
yeah. You
like,
have to ask the like.
You need to.
Yeah. There's certain people.
But I didn't understand how that's not, that's like very one-sided.
Absolutely.
So that was confusing to me. But she knew it as if she was born with that.
Hill Dog knows that stuff too.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The other thing, dude, like, okay, well, this is slightly different, but in relation to that topic, this is something that I find interesting. So I had said, I was like, I don't think I'm going to have a bachelor party. And she's like, yeah, I figured you wouldn't. And I get the idea of it being like a fun thing, but like, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but it's like supposed to be your last hurrah or something. I know that it's not in practice your last hurrah, although I know some dudes be wildin' and doing some crazy shit. But like, I don't like the idea of that being my last hurrah. Mm-hmm. If I wouldn't get married if this was going to be my last hurrah, right?
Yeah, it has this reputation of like, you need to bust your nut on this weekend and then you'll never have fun again.
Right.
I hope that's not the case.
And oftentimes literally speaking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think this was talked about like 100 episodes ago. You and Francis were talking about this, but like the, bachelor party, we're going to have sex with prostitutes and do cocaine and that doesn't age well. I don't think that's how it is today.
I wonder. I've heard some crazy stories, which like you said, we've talked about on some of the old pods. Mm-hmm. And there's even, dude, I don't know if I've told this before, but there's this one guy that I know. I was really impressed with his social skills, because he started telling me a story about a crazy bachelor party. And I think he could tell that maybe I wasn't the right audience to be like, dude, there was a bowl of Cialis in the middle of the fucking table. You know what I mean? He did say that, but he realized that like, I might not think that was that cool. And then he like backed off the story a bit. And I was actually very impressed by that. He didn't think it was one size fits all. Like, dude, I must have fucked 10 chicks that night, dude. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's neat. Weirds me out a little bit. But no, Francis, we did like a surprise bachelor party for him, which if you're getting surprised, you have no fucking choice. Like, and it ended up being a really nice, fun night. But in general, yeah, I don't know. I'm not criticizing bachelor parties. I just don't feel the need to have one. But anyways, I said to Hillary, I was like, why don't we do like a joint bachelor and bachelorette party? And she's like, well, that sort of defeats the purpose. Like, you're supposed to have special time with your boys or whatever. And it's like, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess, but that could be fun, right? A joint.
That's a fun idea.
But is that just the wedding?
Yeah.
The joint right? Like
especially between now and if you have a wedding in a year or under, it's kind of redundant to do a large gathering like that.
Yeah. I don't want, my goal is to sort of have a wedding where everybody's happy. I don't want to like start problems with my wedding. You know what I mean? That's not fun. I don't want people to feel bad. I don't want, you know what I mean? Like within a reasonable threshold. Like, I'm sure that there are maybe some people who will be surprised that they aren't invited, but they shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want people to feel bad. I don't like the idea of having a whatever, groomsmen and shit. Because I don't want people to feel left out. I'm even having anxiety about deciding who's going to speak and when and how, and too many speeches or making people travel. It's just like stressful, man.
Yeah, I was asked to be in my friend's wedding, and I was stressed out because not everybody that I thought would be in it was asked to be in it. And so when he presented me the gift, I felt very uncomfortable like holding it, and I asked him to hang on to it because I didn't want to be seen with it to make anyone's feelings get hurt.
Right.
I haven't even participated in any weddings yet besides just being a guest. I'm already stressed out about feelings and excluding people, and that's going to be tough.
It's tough, dude.
It's going to be tough.
It's tough. It's going to be tough.
Like really stressful. I was sharing an Uber home with a couple of my buddies, and then my friend that asked me to be in the wedding, he gave me the box, and I was like, I can't take this in the car with me because I don't want so-and-so to see it. Even though they're going to find out anyway, and it's not weird, but I feel like you make it. Yeah, and even though it's not weird, you feel weird and you feel guilty. So I told him, I said, we basically just talked with our eyes. We were just like, and he's like, I get it. Yeah. So I'm waiting to get the box, but yeah, just that makes me uncomfortable. So I can't imagine inviting or including/excluding certain people from being in the party or the wedding.
Yeah, dude. Totally. Well, it's funny. Speaking of making people uncomfortable, the person whose wedding it was in Wyoming, she's a dear friend, really great girl, Natalie, love her. I was thinking back about something pretty funny. I had a kind of like messy breakup situationship basically with this girl where we were like kind of dating, then we weren't. And like, we sort of went back and forth doing that for years. And I remember at one point I decided, I don't know why I decided this in my grieving process. I decided that I was just going to pretend that girl didn't even exist. She never existed. I never knew about her. And if anyone mentions her, I'm going to pretend like I don't know what they're talking about.
Okay.
And I did this to her, and I feel really bad about it because of how uncomfortable it made her and whatever. So I think she may have even been like, so-and-so is going to be there. Like, are you cool with that? And I was like, who? And she was like, she was like, what, like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was like,
it's like Giulio.
No, dude. And she's just like, she's so sweet. She sort of like genuinely never is like gonna make a thing out of something. I don't know. So she like was just kind of like she sort of like short circuited. She like didn't know what to do. And it was pretty fucking funny, and I regret doing that. I look back on that and cringe now. Like I'm icked out by myself in that scenario. But certainly made things uncomfortable. I don't know. Well, dude, I got a bunch of these flights coming up, and I have a question for you. I got upgraded. So first of all, I don't know if you guys saw this. Everybody's been sending me this shit about the changes to the Delta loyalty program. So apparently there's all this shit coming up. I'm actually not that on top of it. I'm not totally sure what the difference is going to be. And I don't care that much. But anyway, so I was thinking about this. So with my status or whatever, I automatically get upgraded to Comfort Plus. Here's the question that I have for you. Because sometimes on a longer flight, there will be 3 seats in a Comfort Plus area, meaning the middle one, meaning there's a middle seat. What is better? Is it better to sit aisle in main cabin or middle in Comfort Plus? Aisle or window in main cabin or middle in Comfort Plus? And
you're assuming that both aisles are filled? So you're in between 2 people in Comfort Plus?
Without a doubt, yeah.
Okay.
Because the Comfort Plus is all people who've gotten upgraded for whatever reason. Like if you don't book the flight early enough or whatever, like I have it checked off that I prefer Comfort Plus middle over not getting upgraded. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if I stand by that.
Why'd you pick middle in the first place?
I didn't pick anything.
Okay.
And I picked main cabin and automatically got upgraded to Comfort.
Is Comfort Plus right behind first class?
Yes.
And so the one that you're talking about is the one with all the extra legroom? Like
Comfort
that extended legroom by the door.
Comfort Plus has more legroom. It's not the exit row. It's just like a class of seats that's better than the seats in the back of the plane.
Okay.
However, it's still 3 to a row in some of the longer flights, and you can end up in the middle in a Comfort Plus seat. So you have more legroom, but you're in the middle.
And that's it? Just more legroom?
Slightly more legroom. And I don't actually know. Well, not just that. Like, the cart isn't really like that big of a deal. I guess you get free booze and Comfort Plus, but like I don't drink on flights anyway. Better snacks.
Do you get the boxes?
You don't get the boxes, but
Mediterranean box?
there's no boxes, but there's better snacks.
Okay.
So like Sun Chips and gummy bears and whatever, as opposed to the back where you just get those fucking dog biscuits.
Or one pretzel.
One pretzel and dog biscuits.
And a grain of salt. I would still take just the window seat or the aisle seat
Over the Comfort Plus.
over the Comfort Plus, because I don't see that much of a difference in the legroom. Because I have like very long legs, and I can still be comfortable when I'm sitting next to two people. And I prefer to sit in the window aisle anyway, so
Yeah.
I'd take that.
And the thing that fucks you too is like it's typically a longer flight
Yeah.
when you're doing the middle seat Comfort Plus, because for the shorter flights there's only 2.
Yeah, that too. I want a path of least resistance when it comes to people that you're sitting next to going to the bathroom. I'm not going to get up very often if it's a 6-hour flight. Like if we were going to California, I'm not going to be a bother. So just being stuck in my corner, I'd be comfortable with that, as opposed to having to get up and people getting over me and everything like that. I don't want to deal with that.
You like window?
Yeah, I now like window. I used to like aisle, but
Yeah.
now I like window.
Yeah, I'm sort of starting to think that I'm becoming a window guy too, just because aisle. I hate not having control of the window. When it's like bumpy, I like being able to look out the window.
I would used to be scared of the window seat because for irrational reasons, I just thought that was a more dangerous spot to be in. But I gravitated towards the aisle because you have more, I don't know, you have more access. You don't have to bother anybody to go to the bathroom. But my legs, they kind of dip out
the knees
into the area where everyone's walking through, and I get my knee bumped or my
and get carded pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't like that. So I'll take the window now.
Yeah.
So I would choose that over the comfort.
What's your relationship with turbulence?
I think we talked about this. Not great, but it's probably no different than anyone else's experience. I don't like it. I know it'll probably be okay, but it's very scary in the moment.
What if it's just like moderate turbulence?
It's all right. I got
So just a little bit of
a pit in my stomach during that, but I try to ignore it. Yeah.
I'm starting to realize that I don't really know. I don't know for sure how people really feel about it, because nobody's gonna act scared until there's like a bashing, and then people go, people will gasp.
Yeah. I haven't had a gasp turbulent moment in over 10 years. So I haven't. It's been a long time. I remember vividly when that happened, but it's been a minute, so I haven't experienced that in a while.
Let's hope that we don't have to.
Yeah, knock on wood. I really don't like that. So I was leaving your apartment after we recorded a few weeks ago. I was heading to the subway, and I saw a guy leaning against one of those pillars in front of like the doorway to a building. They like, I think they're to prevent cars from driving into buildings. Is that what it's called?
Was that near like the Bloomberg building?
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. And they lower them when cars drive in, but then they raise them again so cars can't.
Yeah. So these were up, and I'm walking towards the subway, and there was a guy leaning against one of those pillars, and he was on his phone. And the angle of the phone was tilted up just a little too much, where it caught my eye.
Oh.
And I was suspicious that he was taking pictures of people. And so whatever, I walked, and it's just a few degrees make the difference between like you're looking at your phone versus you're being sus. And I kept seeing his eyes bobbling around. So that was sign number 2. I was like, this guy's doing something creepy. I walk past him, and I walk right behind him. And lo and behold, he has his camera app open.
Wow.
And I saw him take a picture of somebody, and I'm just standing there because I'm just like, I'm going to fuck with this guy now just a little bit because he's been a really bad person.
He's taking pictures of girls?
Yeah. He's taking pictures of girls. And I didn't see him I didn't see him take a picture I saw him take a picture of a guy, and I didn't see him take any pictures of girls, but I stuck around long enough to see him go to his photo library and then swipe through. And there was about 4 or 5 photos of people.
Oh, God.
They were photos of people's butts. And so like he was being a creep. And so this guy's head's on a swivel. So it was a matter of time before he turned around and saw me. And so he turned around and he saw me, and I just stared at him.
What the fuck?
And so he quickly turned back around, didn't think anything of me. I stuck around. He turns around again and he sees me, and I put my hands on my hips and I give him an eyebrow. I'm like, Like I was his mother. Like, I see what you're doing, mister. You better cut that out. I didn't say that, but that was the look I gave him. And so he turned around again. He was a little flustered. And then he started to slowly walk away. He turned around, saw me again, and I stood there. I just stood there the whole time, hands on hip, and I gave him another like eye and a head nod. I was like, And then I don't know why I did this. I really wanted to scare this guy badly. I felt like I had so much power because he was doing something terrible, and at the very least, I was protecting people. I had my AirPods in, and when he was about 15 feet away, I was like, "Yes, officer." Yeah, he's wearing a red polo,
Stop it.
blue jeans, and he's turning. He's going southbound on Lexington. Yes, and he's wearing glasses. And he turns around, and he's like, and he scampered around, and he just went around the corner. And then I got in the subway and went home. And so I hope that scared him straight into not being a creep in public.
Ryan. That's
So
very, very good.
I wanted to do that.
You were a good boy, Ryan.
Thank you.
That's pretty fucking funny. I love Ryan in the wild has really turned into a thing. You know, just doing what's right.
One creep at a time.
One creep at a time. That's all we can do. All right, guys. Oops, the podcast. Still rocking and rolling. You know where to find us. oopspodcast@gmail.com for your stories. oopspodcast.com for merch. We got some of those turkey tees. Go grab some of those. They're pretty cool.
Excited about that.
We're excited to get ours, and you guys should get yours too. Get all my tour dates at notjulio.com. I'm going to be hopefully in a city near you soon and adding some more dates always. So hopefully see you one of these days. Ryan, anything else to add?
Nope, nothing right now.
Okay, that's it. Thank you guys.
Thanks.